Hey, how you doing on this fine Monday? I hope you're having a great day. Hope you've had a great week. It's been a very challenging week for me, and it was a very tough week. And I Friday night I was so exhausted, and I was sitting in my chair, and I got a text, and the text just said, "Hey, are you picking me up or am I picking you up?" And my pastor had texted me, and I was like, "What did I forget? What did I forget? It's Friday night. Where am I going? What did I?" And then in my head, I said, "Oh, is tomorrow the 26th?" Oh, I'd forgot that I was supposed to go golfing in Nebraska with my pastor and my best friend and his father-in-law, and we were going to go golfing. And I did not feel like golfing, even though I love it. I was so tired. I was wore out. I was spent. I'd been giving and giving and giving all week, and I just didn't feel like it. Luckily, I talked to my best friend. She set me straight. My better half set me straight, and was really good about it. She said, "I think you ought to go. I think you need it. I know you don't want to go, but she said, I think you need it." And so I got up early Saturday morning. We left about 6. And I was still not thoroughly convinced that I needed to go. But on the trip, we talked about the Lord for almost 3 hours on the way to the golf course, and then talked about the Lord and just had a great time all day, and then talked about the Lord on the way home, and it was amazing. It was rejuvenating. I got filled. I got refilled. I got so much out of the trip that I would not have sitting at home. And I am so glad that I went. And one of the things that we were talking about, and one of the things I've been talking about here, is being led by the Spirit. And we talked about the fact that we're really made up of 2 parts. We're made up of that carnal man who really doesn't have our best interest in mind, and we're made up of the spiritual part of us. There's 2 parts to us. And so I just wanted to read today. I'm going to be in Corinthians, in 2 Corinthians, or first, let me, I'm sorry, 1 Corinthians 2. 1 Corinthians 2 and 14. And I'm going to read it in the Amplified Bible because I like the way it says this, because I want you to understand what I'm saying. It says, "But the natural unbelieving man does not accept the things, the teachings, and the revelations of the Spirit of God. For they are foolishness, absurd, and illogical to him, and he is incapable of understanding them because they are spiritually discerned and appreciated, and he is unqualified to judge spiritual matters." So just think about what I just read, and you could look at that and say, okay, somebody that's not saved is what they're talking about. But to me, it's also can be talking about that carnal man in us that is logical and does not discern the spiritual things. The carnal man that is always fighting to get its way, the flesh that's always fighting to get its way and do its thing and be the boss. And it doesn't understand spiritual things because they're 2 different things. And we need to decide whether we're going to be led by the spiritual side or by the carnal side. Which one are we going to give into? Which one are we going to give our thoughts to, our time to? And I've heard it said, and I've heard it preached years and years ago, it's like 2 dogs in you. And which one are you going to feed the most? And the one that you feed the most is the strongest. And so just want you to think about those things, that we have two entities that we live with, the carnal man and the spiritual man, flesh and spirit. And so which one are you going to feed? So in all of that, you need to understand that there's no condemnation, because the first chapter of Romans, the first verse says, there is therefore now no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus. So, no condemnation. Now, if you read the next little part there, and it says, for those that walk in the Spirit and not in the flesh, that part was not in the original text. That part was added when they translated it, because they could not believe that it could just say that first part. There is now therefore no condemnation to those in Christ Jesus. That's where it stopped in the original manuscript. And they couldn't believe that there's no condemnation if you believe in Christ. They had to add the part about walking in the Spirit and not in the flesh, because they couldn't believe it. But believe it, there is no condemnation, whether you choose to walk in the flesh or the Spirit. But there's going to be consequences. There's going to be good consequences and bad consequences for which you choose. You reap what you sow. So if you're going to live in the carnal person, you're going to reap carnal things and bad things. And if you live in the spiritual side and are led by the Spirit, you're going to reap great things, and you're going to see great things in your life. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking about today. I hope it helped you. Which one are you going to feed the most? Which one are you going to think about the most? Which one are you going to give the most time to? Just questions. Hope you had a great Monday, and we will talk next Monday. God bless. Oh, don't forget, you can always call me, 970-466-4663, or you can email me, michael@problemsolvergroup.com. Have a great week. God bless.